Hello and welcome. My name is Serena Anderson. I am a hypnosis facilitator here in the Las Vegas area and also helping people all around the world. And today we have our beautiful and amazing guest, Tara. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm so excited to be here with you, so thank you.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here with you as well. We have so much to talk about today.
Yes.
And what we're going to be covering is what hypnosis is, what our experiences have been having our own sessions throughout this year, and what to expect and what not to expect, and all of that when you're having your very own session.
Yes.
Yay. So Tara, first go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about who you are and what you do.
Yes. So my name is Tara Moore, and I am the owner and creator of HealingAdventures, which is a hypnotherapy practice and coaching practice, and I also have a YouTube channel. So we like to inspire, motivate, and activate people's truth, their passion, and their mission on this planet. So that's a little bit of what I do. And the modalities that I love are quantum healing hypnosis, introspective hypnosis, and using that as a tool to remove blocks and just various things that can stand in somebody's way. So along with coaching, but that's the main focus is the hypnosis. So yeah, that's a little bit of what I do.
I love it. How
Yes.
cool. It just sounds so fascinating.
It's fun. I know. That's how I met you.
Right. This is how we met. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What a cool venture that we have both been on.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's been amazing, to say the least. Amazing.
It
Yeah.
has. It certainly has. So tell me a little bit about how you got into this type of work.
Yeah, so it's an interesting story. Those who know this work, quantum healing hypnosis, may be familiar with Dolores Canon. And her books were brought to my attention at least 4 different times over a period of 20 years. And all 3 times, the first 3 times, I just wasn't interested or awake to it. And then I was turned on to one of Alba Weinman's sessions through a friend of mine, and that really unlocked the key. I watched one of her YouTube sessions, and I was like, what is this?
Yes.
And then, I drew that connection back to Dolores Canon, back to QHHT hypnosis, and realized not only did I want my own session, but also realized I don't know what this is, but I've got to learn how to do this because it is the most phenomenal, experience as well as modality that I personally felt. And I can't speak for everybody because I think that there's so many modalities out there. There's, you just got to find what works best for you. This was the modality that worked best for me in terms of really going deep and just, pulling out those roots of conversations and things that no longer served me. And so that's really how I got into it. And after I had my first session, I was hooked and couldn't wait to learn how to do it so that I could, support others with it. And that's really how I got into it. So yeah.
Wow, that is so cool.
Yes.
It's
and
so.
Then that led me to Antonio's class where I met you, where we learned the whole introspective hypnosis techniques, which that was like a whole nother oh my gosh,
Yeah.
the things we can do with this work is phenomenal. So yeah, so it's been really exciting.
That is so true. So now if someone was kind of wondering, well, what's the difference between the Dolores Canon and the introspective? What are some of the differences?
That's such a great question, and I'll just speak, obviously we could get deep into the modality and the techniques and the styles. I mean, if we look at quantum healing, it's about accessing the quantum realm. It's about accessing the super subconscious or the higher self, such that you can, facilitate a list of questions and then get that guidance of questions answered from your higher self, but also to be brought into past lives or future lives or in between lives, wherever you and your higher self directs you, right?
Yeah.
And I think that the difference with Antonio's work is that you're still accessing that quantum realm. You're still accessing that higher self. But what I love about the introspective hypnosis is now we're able to learn those techniques and modalities around forgiveness work, and actually doing forgiveness work with possibly people who have crossed over as well as people who are still here, and really connecting in with their higher selves on that quantum realm so that we can get those conversations complete, as well as my favorite part of it is, removing energy attachments. Dare I say the word entity attachments, because people always like, oh my God, entities.
Yeah.
But, any being, I'm an entity. We're all of us are entities. We are an entity of something. But that was the most profound piece that I was very much interested in, because it made the most sense that there is a possibility that these lost souls, or souls on the planet that did not transition, could take up shop within another individual, a living person. So when I began to dive into that aspect and that realm, which that is very different than Dolores's work, they do not work on that. That, to me, those are the two main pieces that are very, very different, is that you're doing forgiveness work as well as the energy clearing and really unearthing those blocks. Because if you've got energies that are living within you, then their existence or their lives are also living through you. So, yeah, I mean, that's the best, I guess, in the layman's term that I could say the difference would be.
Yeah, that's great. I completely agree. There's definitely a lot of similarities, but there are some critical differences for sure. Both can be super powerful and incredible.
Yes. And I have found that combining those modalities allows for me as the hypnotherapist to really serve my client, that I'm not, restricted just to one way, that if my client is open to me working with them using all of the modalities, we can really dig in and I think better serve them. So that's one of the things I like about using both of the modalities together.
Yes, I agree. No, I was going to kind of share a little bit of how I came to find it and get into it. I had, someone had shown me one of the Alba videos, and I started watching that, and I was like, whoa, what is this? And then I found Dolores Canon. I started watching all her videos, and then started reading her books and did the Audible, and I was like, wow, this is incredible.
Right.
And at that time in my life, I was also trying to figure out how I could rewire my subconscious mind and how I could get through a pretty traumatic time in my life. And I had discovered these things. They just came to me out of like thin air.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't even believe it that this was possible, that this is going on, that people are talking about this, experiencing this. So I had to have a session right away, and then I just knew I had to learn how to do all of this myself.
Yes.
And it's just been amazing and fascinating ever since. And I think that kind of takes me to a good point, is that all hypnosis is self-hypnosis.
Yes.
We can do self-hypnosis. We can have hypnosis done to us or with us.
Yes.
But there are both of those. So what do you think about that? And what do you think other people think about hypnosis and self-hypnosis and all of that?
Well, yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I feel so many people have the wrong idea of what hypnosis is. As you know, with a hypnotherapist, when we speak to people that, oh, you're not doing that to me, you're not going to make me do something. It's like, I'm not going to make you do anything.
Nothing.
So I think because, we watch too much TV, and, back in the day, there was the quack like a duck and bark like a dog and go do this. And not to say that you can't do that. I mean, those things can be done in hypnosis, but to me, that's not what it's about. And I like that you bring up that piece about self-hypnosis, because yes, hypnosis to me if we're not going to go into the whole scientific side of it, hypnosis to me is about accessing those parts of my brain, the subconscious, where I've got negative programming, negative self-image, negative self-talk, negative ideas of the world, because we as our human selves in the brain is so easily hypnotized and programmed. I mean, when you're driving, you're in a hypnotic alpha state when you're driving, when you're watching TV. And that's why they have all these commercials, and that's why they call it programming. They call the TV programs for a reason, because our brains, and they know this, they know that our brains are wired that everything that we're watching and taking in, the brain is calculating, it is making a storage of files and filters, and it's putting it in there, and you're becoming that. And so with that said, one might say, well, why do I keep having the same result? Well, you got to bring it back down to what's the conversation going on in your head. So what I love about hypnosis and accessing that super subconscious, or whatever I like to call it the higher self, but it's that deep self. We can go in there and reprogram and literally pull out old tapes that no longer serve us and reprogram, tapes that do serve you, conversations that will make a difference, conversations that will empower you. And when that is restored or reprogrammed, that's when you get to create this different way of life. You have this different filter that you're living through. And so I find it to be powerful. And yeah, self-hypnosis versus getting it, being hypnotized by another, I think both of them are awesome. And I think that there's nothing, hypnotize me all day then and reprogram me to positive things. I'm down.
Yes. Yes.
And I have to say, I know we've talked about this before. I've had 5 sessions in less than a year.
Yeah.
And we had talked about that, and what those sessions provided me was, we did do some reprogramming in here. They literally took out conversations that I don't even remember what those conversations are, but I remember the ones that were put in. And those are the conversations that get me up every day. Those are the conversations that have me no longer feel fear. I feel more confident. I feel more in my truth, in my power. I trust myself. I trust my judgment. I see my body image newly and differently. And, to me, that is like hands down, like, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Why wouldn't I be doing that? So,
Absolutely.
yeah, does that answer the question?
Yeah, it does. And, it's what's awesome about what these sessions also provide is training and education on how to get in sync with your body and get in sync with your higher self. And I think part of that, the veil that's thinning, part of that is that it's not outside of you. People have been searching outside themselves. Yeah, it's inside. It's inside.
It's between those 2 ears.
Yeah. And then connecting it with the heart and making it all flow together and realizing that there's nothing outside of yourself. And a lot of times people like to go to psychics and stuff like that, which is fantastic, or tarot cards and that sort of thing, but there is a filter going on. It's going through them, and they're discerning what they're getting. Well, with what these sessions do is you get direct access.
You get your own answers. And I love that you brought that up, because that was one of the main pieces that directly drew me to this work. Because I do angel card readings, I'm intuitive, I can provide people that information, but it's like you said, it's through my filter. And what I loved about this work, I thought, you know what, they no longer have to come to me for the answer. I get to hold the space and facilitate a space for them to get their own answer. And their own answer is more truthful than any other answer. And that is what I love about this work, is that, you're healing yourself. We're simply holding that space for you.
Yes.
And we're simply guiding you through that story that seems to be streaming through your mind. to get you to the place where you need to be, where you want to be, where you said you wanted to be. And so, yeah, it's powerful.
It is. It is so powerful. And, you know, one of the things we were talking about is we can see the value in doing maybe 3 sessions once a month for 3 months.
Oh my gosh.
Committing to transformation. Yeah.
Yes.
Like you can learn a lot in just one, but when you couple it with multiples, like you've had 5 and I've had 4.
Yes, yeah.
I can't tell you how much my intuition, my connection to my higher self, the information that I get more directly, quickly, has increased since I've had these sessions. It's been life-changing.
Yes. Yeah. No, it's incredible. It's incredible. You know, and I just, something just downloaded through. You know, one of the things I just recognized recently is since I've been doing all this work, I lost 30 pounds. That's a lot of weight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I bring it up, and I'm not saying, oh, if you do this work, you're going to lose 30 pounds. But what I am saying is that it dawned on me the other day, I lost 30 pounds because this is different.
Yep.
This up here is all different.
Yep.
How I see food, how I see my exercise, how I see my body, how I see my life. It's as if life is starting to come together in this natural state's not the word, but it's as if the pieces are starting to fall into place.
Yes.
You know, the fragmented areas are starting to smooth out.
Yes.
And I really, you know, you talk about the wholeness. It really is when you can begin to remove and shed these layers of negativity, of sadness, of depression, of trauma. It's like your brighter self comes out. Your whole self comes out.
Yeah.
And that whole self has a whole picture. And it doesn't get in the way of itself as much. You know, I mean, I don't think we're ever, you know, I don't ever believe that I've arrived. I won't arrive until I transition over. And then I'll be like, I'm back home again, you know?
Yeah.
It's like every day, it's just a journey. And that's why I call it the healing adventure. It's a journey every single day. But the beauty is the more you peel, the more you peel, the more you peel, the more you shine.
Right. Yeah, that
really
is
cool.
so true. So true. And in another way that it's helped people I know and even myself is with sleeping. At night, I can take myself down and just get myself so comfortable. I am fast asleep in self-hypnosis. I plant a few seeds right before that very moment I slip off to sleep.
Yes.
And those are the moments of manifestation and creation.
Yes. Yeah.
And people are reporting making more money, people coming to them to create companies, people wanting to start new businesses because of this clear channel.
Yes, absolutely. Well, and you know, I think you and many of us know that during that sleep time is huge restoration. During that sleep time, you are going to those places with your higher self, and you are making these arrangements. You are making these plans.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, when you make these solid intentions right before going to sleep and planting those seeds inside of that space of restoration, you're able to grow. You're healing. You know, you're healing that aspect of your body and your mind. And I just, I love it. It's beautiful.
Yes, it is. Because, you know, the subconscious mind never sleeps. So,
no, it doesn't.
You know, newsflash! Your conscious mind needs a rest all night long, but not your subconscious. And your subconscious is ruling 90% of our life. Our daily life is from our subconscious mind.
Yes. Now I know. Yeah.
So powerful.
That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, that's a whole nother video. That is so great. So sometimes I have clients that come in and, you know, they've watched these amazing videos online and these huge explorations, and then maybe they have a session and they didn't quite get what they had seen on YouTube. What are your thoughts, and what are some words of wisdom that you've shared?
Expectation leads to upset.
Yes.
Yeah, so great. I love this topic about expectation. It's very easy to watch some videos that you might see on Alba and on her channel and think, oh my God, or even Antonio's channel, oh my God, I want that for myself. You know, and that is possible for anybody, but it depends on what you first have to clean out of the closet. You know, I had my own experience with Alba. I got to see her. I went and had an appointment, and my session was not a YouTube-worthy session. It just wasn't. Yes, there were some earth-shattering moments and alien experiences and so forth, but there were also some deep, traumatic stuff that I didn't even know was there. I did not, what got unearthed is stuff from my childhood, sexual abuse, brought back to religion, and specific people that, I could not share that online. And I have to admit that I left thinking, damn, I wanted like the whole, super ET experience, like I'm with Alba and you never get to see her, So, but I also know that I had to move through those spaces.
Right.
Because what that deep-seated, the stuff that came up was in the way of me accessing my wholeness and my fullness around romantic relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was still rooted into sexual abuse. It was still rooted into men. It was still rooted into religious lines. It was still rooted into family lines. That stuff had to be pulled out so that I could have this so-called experience or, the dream relationship that I'm committed to having.
Yeah.
And so I think, to your point, and not to get too wordy, because this is a big topic. So many people come in and they want to have this big past life experience and they want to know what it's like, and then all of a sudden something comes flying out of their mouth that they're like, I wasn't expecting to say that. I didn't mean to say that. I don't know why I told you that. And it's like, because that's what needs to be cleared.
Yeah.
It's as if these sessions are, you're going to clean out some skeletons.
Yeah.
And when you clean out the skeletons, you're going to feel good, you're going to feel free, you're going to feel clear. And the more skeletons you clean out, the more these other experiences that you expect or hope to have will happen.
Yeah.
The more you can access these other lifetimes, or the more you can access the one lifetime that you've been dying to experience. You cannot have that until your body is healed. And I think you also brought up earlier, which I think is so important, is that these sessions, I have no idea, you have no idea, we have no idea what's going to happen. That was a decision made with the higher self and you don't even know that it was made because it was made while you were sleeping.
Yep, exactly.
And they start constructing it, and then all of a sudden you show up and you lay on the table and you're like, oh shit, I didn't think that was going to happen. But that's what needed to happen for that person to heal something. Yeah. And I think so many people come in saying, I want X. Well, you can't have X until, B is removed. Because B has to be removed before we can get down the alphabetical chain to X.
Right.
And people, I think, to try and help people not have an expectation and just trust the process. So many people get up and say, I don't believe anything that just happened. I don't believe anything that just came out of my mouth. And it's like, okay, well, that's fine, but it's what's so. Whether it's real or not, it's what your subconscious is holding on to.
Yeah.
Whether it's a movie you saw 35 years ago and now it's just playing out here in this room, that's what had to be removed for you to access that gold that you're looking for. Right. And that's what people need to know, that, coming in for one session, expecting that you're going to get the sun, moon, and the stars, that's great. It does happen. I'm not saying it doesn't, but what's more realistic is, like you said, it's commit to your transformation, commit to your own personal healing. If this is a modality that serves you, commit and don't come in with any expectation and trust the process.
Right.
And allow that process to unfold.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And Alba came in to our training, and which was fantastic. And one of the questions everyone had for her was, "Is every single session like what you post on YouTube?" And she says, "No, it's the rarity."
It's like 1 in 10 sessions.
Yeah.
1 in 10 sessions. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what she says. Yeah. No,
so there's a lot of healing that needs to be done, and that's what these sessions are geared towards. There was another story that Antonio, I think it was, told us, but he had a gal travel to come see him, and she had expectations of what she wanted, and she wanted to share it with her group of women, gals, something that she does with a bunch of gals, and she had to deal with a bunch of childhood stuff, and she was really upset that she didn't experience this other thing that she had created. And it's like, no, the subconscious mind knows exactly what you need.
Yes.
Our conscious mind, which is only 10%, is just this one little tunnel of perception.
Yeah.
And we have to rest easy to know that we are in good hands, that the subconscious mind is wanting to work together to help heal for whatever that is.
No, absolutely. Yeah. No. And so, I mean, at the end of the day, people need to come with zero expectations.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just come for the allowance and the healing journey.
Yeah.
And we'll see. I mean, hell, that's why I call it HealingAdventures. It's like, I have no idea what's going to happen today.
Yeah.
I'm in the ride just like you're in the ride.
Right.
And I got the blindfolders on. You got to tell me where we're going, and I'll try and steer and direct you, and you just tell me where we're going.
Yes.
And we'll find out what's at the end of that tunnel.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And every tunnel is amazing. And I think I've had some people leave here and they're just like, I'm never doing that again. And it's like, okay, I get it. And I think because the healing is so profound and powerful for them that they don't know what the hell just happened in here. And they're terrified. People literally leave here terrified sometimes. So, and I have to remind them that it is a deep experience. This is not for the faint at heart. This is not a joyride. Yeah. It's a deep experience. And if you've got stuff that's been locked down for a long time, Pandora's box is going to burst open.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if that's what you're committed to having, that's what's available with this work.
Yeah.
If you just want to have I'm just going to skip around the roses, don't bother.
Right.
Don't bother. Yeah, because this is deep healing work.
It is. It really is. There's another story of a guy who saw a hypnotherapist, and he said, I'm 65 years old. I've been angry my whole life. Like, I've never been able to find happiness. I don't even know what that means. I just feel super angry all the time. I think this was Candace's story from the Beyond Quantum Healing training. And they went into a hypnosis session and found out that, his subconscious mind took him back to when he was about 1.5 years, 2 years old, at the doctor's office underneath the table, and he's crying and screaming and he's just upset. And what unfolds is that he's there for a second time to do circumcision because the one that was done at birth didn't work, and they had to go and do it again, and he knew what was coming. And from that moment on, he took all that energy and anger and turned it into internal anger. And after they processed it and did some healing and forgiveness work, his whole life changed.
Oh, I can imagine.
He had no idea it was coming from that memory as a little kid.
Well, and that's what's so profound is people don't realize when a trauma happens, it gets stuck in your body if it has no place to process out. It's stuck in your body. And how it plays out in your body, God only knows.
Yeah.
It can play out as an illness. It can play out as anger. It can play out as depression. It can play out as hatred. Yeah. You know, it has to move through your body somehow. Yeah. We are all energy beings, and that's the other piece that I think so many people don't really grasp and wrap their hands around. We're energy beings. That's what we are. Yes. That energy has to move out. It has to process out.
It has to. It has to move. And yeah, you talk about frequency and energy, and that is truly what everything breaks down to.
Yes.
And if for anyone that's watching, you know, checking out Elon Musk, Elaine Musk, she does the tuning forks, and they've broken down the science of our aura, our auric field, and this crummy crap we can keep even just in our field, or it could be energy or attachments. They can hear the sound difference when there's a blockage in the body,
in that area,
or out of the body.
So amazing.
It is.
Yeah, there's so much you can do. There's so much you can do to cleanse and clear the body and heal the body.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, it's
and I love how with our sessions, you know, we go through and clean and cleanse the energetic body. So you get to walk away being balanced.
Yes, yeah. And I think that's my favorite part is when we get to the body scan and we're able to move through that, because that's when the client gets to really experience how powerful their own personal healing is, because their own personal healing, being their higher self, is literally working that energy in their body and moving that energy in their body. And that's when people say, wow, I don't know what's happening, but I felt something. It's like, you felt cleaning and clearing your body.
Yes.
And then, you know, when we get to the realization that we are that powerful, and one can say, well, it's the higher self, but at the end of the day, the higher self is still you. That's your super self. You're accessing that realm. And I think that's the other piece that drew me to this work, is that when you access your own realm at that level, you can't question anything. You can't say it's not real. When you experience it firsthand at that level, you can never say that I don't have a soul, or I don't have this higher self, or I don't have whatever. You're connected. You've seen it now. You've experienced it firsthand. Yeah. There's no question. So it's so cool.
I agree. Awesome. So how can people get in touch with you if they want to hire you for a session?
Oh, gosh, yes. They can go to www.hearthealingadventures.com. And that's where they can find me. They can go to the contact page, reach out to me. They can also, on my website, find my YouTube page and look at some of the sessions there, as well as some of the other things that I do there. But yeah, that's really where they can find me, is at hearthealingadventures.com.
Perfect. And what location are you in? You're in Texas.
I'm actually out of Austin, Texas, but I do sessions remotely as well. But yes, I live here in Austin, Texas. Yay.
Perfect. And if anyone wanted to talk to me about a session, you can go to serenaanderson.com as well. And we would love to be able to help with the healing adventures that we are all on as humans.
Yes, absolutely. It is an amazing journey, a fun journey. It's fun.
It is.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thank you as well. And if anyone has any questions or comments, please leave some questions and comments below, and please subscribe and like our channels. We're going to continue to provide this information and give updates from our sessions and about our subconscious mind, manifestation, all these incredible abilities that we have.
Really awesome. Thank you.
Thank
Have a great
you.
day, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.